Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go.
Hey everyone, so you are going to be listening to Dear Dad with Ivan and Brad today, and on this episode, you will still hear us through the camera microphones, but we forgot to turn on our actual microphones, so it might sound a little bit distorted, but you do not want to miss this show. Ivan and I battle it out, so stay tuned. Hey everyone, welcome to Dear Dad with Ivan and Brad. He's Ivan, I'm Brad, and we are two dads here to give you our perspective from a father and a male's point of view on everything marriage, divorce, parenting, co-parenting, as well as being a single parent. Being a single parent, or just parenting in general, kids. What kind of limitations do we give our kids?
I'm a little more lenient as far as
You let them shoot guns at 6 and 8?
no.
Oh, okay.
I said a little,
Okay.
right? Like they like Nerf guns.
Okay.
No BB guns yet.
Yeah.
Nerf guns. But I let them listen to some crazy music.
Mm-hmm.
Watch some crazy-ish movies too.
Okay.
But with me,
Right.
Like definitely some of the music we listen to, I wouldn't want them to put it on in their mom's car.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
But it's cool. It's good music. It's cool music. We have fun when we're listening to it. We
Mhm.
sing along. We're dancing.
Well, what if they did put it on in their mom's car? What do you think would happen?
She would probably ask why we're listening to that music.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it is what it is, man. I'm not teaching them to harm people or to do bad things. We're just listening to some crazy music.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to listen to it eventually. Sometimes my kids come to me with some crazy music. They're like, Dad, have you heard this song? I'm like, whoa, whoa. But I know that, when I was a kid, I liked crazy music. I like rap.
Right.
And I like that my kids and I like the same style of music.
Mm-hmm.
Like my brother Johnny, he's into rock.
Okay.
He's a total rock kid.
Gotcha.
So him and I separate on that.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that my kids and I won't because we enjoy the same style of music. So I'm holding on to that for as long as I can.
Yeah.
The other day, did I tell the story about them cussing?
Yes.
I did?
Yeah, about him saying, "Can I see that, Dad?" And he runs back over, "Bella, get your ass down here."
No.
Oh, no.
We went to the store the other day.
Oh, okay.
It was like a 2-minute drive from the AutoZone where we were at to the Fred Meyer where we were going.
Okay.
And my son asked if they can cuss. I said, you know what? I will give you from here to Fred Meyer about 2 minutes. It took them a minute, but they got into it. They were just throwing F word here, S word there.
Oh my God.
They were looking at each other. The way it started was that they were looking at each other with the middle fingers up, both hands. It's not great, it's not right, but it's funny. And I want my kids to feel comfortable around me, knowing that they can say the things they need to say, because maybe someday they'll have to tell me something very important and they'll feel like they can't because they don't feel like they can open up to me.
Gotcha.
So that's how I see that. And it's not like I let my kids cuss regularly or anything like that. It was just like, I want my kids to have a little fun. And what 6 and 8-year-old doesn't want to be able to cuss for a minute? You know what I'm saying?
I don't know.
Did you not cuss? You don't think your kids would want to cuss when
At
they were
6 and 8?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Cap.
What's that mean?
That means lie. I
Lie.
don't know. The young kids say it.
Okay.
There's no way.
Maybe they did. I don't know. I'm just thinking we kept them we kept them in an environment of not a lot of cussing at all. They would go to church and they're homeschooled, so they didn't have a lot of that going out into the public and hearing the kid tell some dirty joke or.
Do your kids cuss now?
I think they probably do. They don't cuss really around me too much.
Would you care if they did?
I would care because I just feel like to me, it depends on the situation. Like, if they're super mad and they're dropping like, a cuss word for some reason, that might be one thing because they're like flipping out over something. But just in their daily talk, I just think like, hey guys, can you use a different vocabulary? I don't want you to hear that from my kids. That's just how I feel.
Which is very understandable.
Yeah.
It is.
Because I would hope that they would not feel like it was okay to talk like that to their grandparents. And so...
Well, there's a time and place for everything.
Right.
Right.
So I feel like...
Like, I cuss like a sailor, you know that.
Mm-hmm.
But I try not to cuss in front of my mom.
Mm-hmm.
Just out of respect. I do a little bit, but
right.
I try not to.
However, though, if your kids are hearing you cuss in front of them, then maybe they don't know that it's not okay to cuss in front of your mom.
They know. Because we talk about it.
Okay.
They know that I cuss. We talk about me cussing, and they know that I explain to them when it's okay and when it's not okay. For them, it's almost never okay.
Right.
Except, that time, whatever, here
right.
and there.
And you know it's going to come up again. Like, Daddy, can we cuss again?
Oh, it will.
Yeah, and then we're like, we're almost to the store. Can we cuss again?
Yeah, no. That was like a once in a lifetime type thing, you
yeah.
know, where I just
seems like it would be like on some movie, like just a goofy, I can't think of what kind of movie, just a goofy comedy, like off the wall comedy.
It was. I'll show you the video when we're done.
Oh, you have the video?
I have because
of
of my dash cam.
Uh-huh.
So funny, dude. They start with flipping each other off, and then Elijah's like, "Let's do two fingers." So they both went like this, just looking at each other. It was just so. It was cute. It was funny, But because they're so innocent about it, right? They mean no harm by it, and it's not like I'm letting them cuss out the freaking bagger at Fred Meyer.
Right.
You know what I mean? But yeah, like, I don't know, man. It was just fun. It was funny, and they had a good time, and the main reason I let them do that is because I know I've done a good enough job explaining to them that it's not okay to cuss all the time,
right?
Or when it is okay to cuss and when it's not okay to cuss. Like my son really wants to cuss. Like he'll ask me, like, "Can I say crap? Can I say freaking?" I'm like, "No, you can't. Not yet. When you're older, you'll be able to speak that way, but it just doesn't look good for an 8-year-old to talk like that."
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Well, and it's surprising, like when I'm walking into a store or in a mall or just on the sidewalk, and I'm hearing like 16, 17, 18-year-olds just dropping F-bombs like crazy. I'm just like, where'd you kids get them out? It's because I just kind of wonder, like, what are they listening to or who are their parents? That's my thought. Something like.
But do you see it like do you see vulgarity? We'll call it vulgarity, right? Do you see that as a bad trait in somebody? It's just language. It's just,
it is, but it automatically makes me almost like not so much stereotype them, but just automatically assume like
you judge them.
Yeah, what kind of lifestyle do you come from? Because obviously it's not. To me, I'm thinking like
Gary V cusses like a motherfucker.
Yeah, and I don't know why.
Because it's just I've seen videos of him explaining why, and it's just the passion when he's speaking about certain things.
I get it, but it's like he uses it so much, it's a turnoff, especially to like older generations. I thought he had this really cool stage presentation one time, and I thought it was just really good. I'm like, oh, I gotta have my mom and dad listen to this. So my mom and dad were in town,
and they didn't like it.
I turned on, and then like, yeah, I mean they just didn't like it because it's like so much of the F word that it's like they couldn't hear past that. They're like, okay, does this guy say anything else besides that?
But is that right? That you can't hear past certain words?
Well, I think that it's kind of like, well, yeah.
Have you seen Shark Tank?
Mm-hmm.
They all cuss like that. That's the elite of the world. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
like,
but that doesn't make it right. You know
it doesn't make it. It does. You're right. It's no.
It might not make it wrong either, but I think it's a person's perspective, and so I just feel like.
But who's really in the wrong here? The person that thinks it's wrong, or the person that's cussing? Like,
no,
you know what I'm saying?
Well, I get it, and I think there's a thing about words, and we as a society have deemed certain words bad words.
Yeah,
You know what
but
I'm saying?
yeah, like yes, like the C word,
Right.
the N word.
But the C word is not a bad word or that bad of a word over in England.
Right, but
You know what
neither
I'm
is the F word. They call that a cigarette.
Right. Well, no. Oh, you're talking about a
Faggot.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
they call
that's
that cigarettes.
I'm thinking of the other F word.
Oh fuck, no. But like, yeah, they're just words.
They are, but I think if it deters somebody, it's kind of like if you show up to a vegetarian party and you have a steak with you. Like you just wouldn't do that. Like I would show up and be like, hey, what are we eating? Okay, cool. Or what should I bring? So to me, I'm thinking like the people you're around, you should change your wording to fit them more or less, so you fit in with them more. Otherwise, you're gonna stand out, and they might not even listen to you, or they might judge you. So it's like,
Which is wrong.
is it? I mean, like,
Do you not think it's wrong to judge
I don't think it's wrong to judge someone like if they're like,
on such a little thing, like a word, like
Well-
words?
well, yeah. If there's a bunch of kids around, and I'm hearing a grown adult dropping the F word, I'm gonna tell him, hey, can you shut your mouth? There's kids around. I mean, I'll tell him straight up. I have no problem with that because I have no idea how these parents raise their kids, and maybe they don't want their kids hearing that. So this adult has no idea, has no reason to just start dropping the F-bomb out in public when there's little kids around, and so to me, I have no problem at all walking over to someone and saying, hey, there's kids over here. Let's keep the cuss words to a minimum. And that might make me an old man.
Even if they're not your kids.
Even if they're not my kids, no. Because it's part of me protecting society. Like, that's my role. Not just protect kids. Not just to
From
protect
bad
my
words?
kids. Yeah. Because those kids don't need to be repeating that at their homes if their parents don't want them saying those things. I mean, do you think it's okay for 18-year-olds to walk up to your 18-year-old or your 8-year-old boy and say, hey man, you want to see some pornography? I mean, you're going to be seeing it when you're 18 anyway. So
Are you
here's this.
comparing pornography to bad words?
Yeah, because
They're not. What?
That's what I'm saying.
It's
though.
not even close.
That's perspective. It's someone's perspective. If
First of all, that's highly illegal.
correct.
Saying bad words is not illegal.
No, it's not illegal.
You, an 18-year-old showing my 8-year-old pornography, they deserve to die.
Okay.
An 18-year-old saying bad words around my son,
Right.
like,
Oh
okay,
no, I
let
get
me,
there's two. Those are
let
two
me give you a perfect
extremes.
example. I go to the park with my kids, and we're playing on the little hoops next to the big hoops where there's a bunch of older guys playing. I'm not gonna go over there and tell them to stop cussing at each other because me and my kids are there.
No, but that's a different environment. You took
As-
them to a basketball court where there's adults playing. So
Yeah,
to me,
we're
I'm
playing
thinking,
on the little kid hoop.
okay, well, I'm saying like if you're at a park,
Yeah,
or you're at a picnic or whatever it is, and all of a sudden there's a bunch of kids just dropping the F-bomb everywhere. Yeah, I would have no problem going over and saying, hey guys, you're not in the right environment because, like, go somewhere else.
woo.
So be prepared. I might have to tell your kids to knock their mouths off when they hit 18 years old.
No, that's crazy.
Yeah. I used to have a guy who I worked for, and he was like, if you cannot use anything other than an F word to describe something, then you have a very little vocabulary.
And you
And
think
that-
that's accurate?
I think that's extremely accurate. Because to me, I'm thinking like, if you were in front of your grandma, you're not going to use the F word. Or in front of someone else's grandma, you're not going to use the F word. So that
I
means
agree,
So that
yes.
means you do have the ability to use a different word other than the F word.
100%.
So that's my thought process is like, if you have to use the F word, then your vocabulary must not be very strong because obviously there's other words you could have used instead of that. So, and that's a little bit like I used to love watching Gary Vee all the time, but now I get what his message is. I don't need to listen to him anymore. I've listened to the guy for a straight year or 2 years straight, so I'm like, you know what, your message
But
is
you
the
like
same.
him.
Oh yeah, I like him.
That's what I was getting to.
Yeah, but what I mean.
So he
I
uses,
like him, but I wouldn't watch his stuff around my kids necessarily. Like around my 14 and 18-year-old, I might watch his stuff more now. But if they were younger, I wouldn't watch his stuff around the younger kids.
because
Because of the F word. Yeah. Because they don't know when to use the F word. And so
But
now
that's up to you to teach them.
Right. But I also can teach them by not putting the wrong content in front of them. Like I'm not going to let them watch a radar movie that has a ton of violence and a ton of F words in it, if they're younger. Obviously now they're 14 and 18. But to me, it's like you have to set boundaries, and those boundaries I think are different for everyone. You know, some parents don't care at all if their kids cuss from the age of 2 or 3. You know, so that
Yes.
so then it doesn't do me any good to walk over to those kids' parents and be like, "Can you keep your kid from cussing?" They're like, "What the f are you talking about?" You know, I mean, they're gonna be like, you know, they don't care because they've been teaching their kids from day one.
Right.
So to me, and a lot of that even has to do with like, I mean, some people don't think kids should be shooting guns at certain ages.
Right.
Where other families are like, it's perfectly fine. Like,
Yeah.
My
Teach them
10-year-old
gun safety and all
yeah,
that.
my 10-year-old's gonna go out hunting with me or whatever it is. So, I think it just depends on the family. But yeah, I think to me, go back to the original like cuss words. I feel like the F word is like a super strong word over in America, and so it's a lot different to use it over here around kids than maybe it would be somewhere else. But words really are words. Like we literally, I could tell you that yellow piece of paper right there is offensive to me. And in fact, 7 billion people on this planet think it's offensive, so I don't want you putting it up on the wall anymore. That would be weird to you. It's a weird concept. But it's because we've said this is a bad word. This is a bad image. This is bad. This is bad. We've given things good and bad. And so I do feel like sometimes, like, what if every word was just allowed? Then probably, I bet people wouldn't even use the F word as much. If you were using, like, if it was taught at kindergarten to use the F word, and you know it had all these different meanings, and just like someone can say like, dude, that's like dope, you know, or whatever, and people are like, oh yeah, that's dope, or that's fly, and people are like, you know, older generations think fly, like what, like it's flying through the air, and like, no, I mean it's like cool, or you know, whatever. It's, I think if we allowed people to use any word, then it wouldn't be as big of a deal older, like cocaine, like weed. If it was popular when you were like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years old, it would probably lose its pizzazz as you got older. And so it's kind of like, why, but because it's illegal, so many people want to do it or make money from it. And so I think, I just feel like what people see as evil, it's tempting to want to touch it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And be involved in it at different levels. So that's my thought process.
We haven't disagreed on something this much in a while.
No?
What's your take on the guns? Should they be allowed
Yes.
at a very young age?
Yeah. I mean, teach your kids, you know, I mean,
Gun safety.
yeah. I mean, I have 2 guns at home. I showed my kids, you know, what the bullets look like. I took the guns apart. I showed them, I said, hey, this is a tool. It can also hurt people. I said, it's used to hunt. It's also used to protect. I said, so don't ever point. I said, I don't even want you guys pointing a fake gun at someone necessarily. I said, because it gets you in the wrong habit.
Yeah.
And I said, so.
Or that person might not realize it's a fake gun.
Right. So I was like, just always imagine there's a laser coming out the end of this gun. Wherever you point it, it should never be around people, you know. But yeah, I think that guns can be used for hunting. So when you teach a kid, like, hey, this is a rifle, this is a shotgun, we're going to go out and shoot some squirrels, we're going to go turkey hunting or whatever it might be, they're learning to use something, but you're teaching them responsibility and to be mature about something. I mean, when we look back, I always tell my boys this story, but I mean, when we look back at people who owned plantations back in the day, the kids a lot of times ran the farms at like 12, 13, and 14 years old. And so I'm thinking, like, if people are running farms or running whatever it is at that age, and now we have kids who play video games until they're, you know, umpteen years old, it's like we're capable of teaching our kids more maturity quicker than I think we realize. And I think we baby them too much, and we let them like play their games or play on video games a lot, and we don't teach them about real responsibility in the world. And whether that means you teach them about guns or not teach them about guns, like, to me, I don't feel like it's important to have teach your kids about guns. You can teach them about the fear of them.
It is these days, man, with everything that's going on in the schools.
Yeah.
Like, I've had to have the conversation with my kids, like, when you see somebody at school with a gun, you run. You run and you tell somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Even if the kid is just like, hey guys, look what I brought from my dad's house. Look, it's cool, it's a gun. I'm not saying he's gonna be a mass shooter, but like a kid might just come and say, hey guys, look, I brought my dad's gun, you know.
And maybe their buddy is a mass shooter.
And maybe the
all of a
buddy
sudden,
is.
Now they're like, oh, you got guns? Can I see one? Yeah.
So I've had to have that conversation with my kids. Like, if you see it,
Mm-hmm.
you run away and go tell somebody.
Yeah, that's smart.
You know, because fuck that, man. These mass school shootings are just saddest thing in the world, man.
Yeah.
Saddest thing in the world.
Yeah. And I am not opposed to teachers having guns. Like that wouldn't bother me at all. I feel like kids would probably be a lot less likely to walk into a school and start shooting if they knew that the principal, the secretary, and the people in the first two doors of the hallway all had guns. They're like, I'm probably not gonna make it that far.
I feel that armed guards and metal detectors would be a better solution to that problem because people get lazy.
Mm-hmm.
And they're gonna get lazy. Those teachers are gonna get lazy with that gun. You and I both know that.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, when you're out of school and nothing's happened in 2 years, you're gonna get a little lazy with your gun at your school.
Oh, you mean like setting it down?
You set it down, or you forgot to lock it this day.
Right.
Something. And I feel like that could be an even bigger issue because now you, the teacher, are providing this gun.
Right.
Right. So, and it might not be like an AR-15 like most of these mass shooters are using, but like somebody's gonna get hurt, even if it's at least one.
Right.
And so, yeah, I feel like metal detectors.
I can see that. I mean, I'm for metal detectors.
A couple armed guards.
Yeah, well, and it really depends on almost how many exits you have. I almost feel like there should almost be an armed guard. Yeah.
There should only be one exit, one entrance to every single school.
But there's not.
But there isn't.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like if you have 4 exits, then maybe you need to have 4 armed guards. Yeah.
4 metal detectors.
Right. Yeah, and then, I mean, I don't know. I guess metal detectors. There's no reason for anybody to have really metal on them per se, except for maybe a belt buckle
or a binder, whatever. But like, pat the kids down. I don't care.
Yeah.
You, an armed professional.
Yeah.
We get it done at airports.
Right.
Like what? Who cares?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's,
well,
and that gives them something to look up to.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're a cop. Oh, you're protecting us. I want to do that when I'm older. Things like that. That's another reason why that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that's really the best solution. Metal detectors and armed guards. All the teachers don't need to have a gun. The gun should just not even be able to enter. A lot of schools don't even have lockers anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
Some schools make them carry see-through bags. Like.
Yeah, that might be a little bit
extreme.
Well, yeah.
Not really. Hey.
Well, think about the women though, like who are like, puberty.
Yeah.
They're carrying their stuff. So.
I'd rather my daughter live than have to worry about. That.
I can see that.
I don't know. It's.
Yeah. Well, it is nice to know that when you go into a building, that you're more safe than you were if there was nobody there to check you.
Yeah.
Because our kids, they're just sitting in class. They're like, who's going to stop anybody who walks in here right now? Nobody. Now, the one thing I do like is, like at my kids' school, they have a buzzer system. I cannot get into their school unless I identify myself. So then I have to identify. So every door actually in that place is locked. And I cannot get to it except for through the front door. And I have to tell them in the speaker who I am. They have a camera on me. I'm like, hey, I'm Ethan Reams, Dad, Paul, or Brad Reams.
But what does that stop really? Nothing.
Well, yeah, because they can identify you.
That's fine. Some of these mass shooters are kids that go to that school. They're well identified.
Yeah, but they're walking in with guns on them. So like if you walk in, it's summertime with a trench coat on, I think they're probably gonna question you like, why are you wearing such a long coat when it's can you hold outside real quick?
Is that what they're using? Are they using trench coats?
I mean, I would think that. I think
they just carry them in their bags.
Like an AR-15.
I don't know. I don't know. I also don't know, but neither do you.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know. I don't know when they're holding.
I do know.
I asked you. You said you didn't know. If
I know they're not putting them in their. I know they're not putting them in their book bags.
Okay, I don't know.
And some of them have had trench coats in the past.
Okay,
the ones in the
that's what I was asking.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, man.
Well, I think that's the point of having the armed guard. So you have the lockdown, right? Then if someone looks suspicious, the guard can go out there and say, "Hey, I need to check you real quick before I let you in, because you're wearing a puffy jacket and it's 90 degrees outside." You know, or you're carrying a duffel bag, you know, a big black duffel bag in, and like, why you? Nobody has any books. Why are you carrying that in? You know, so, and honestly, I mean, there's never been a shooting that I know of at a place where they've had locked down doors because they haven't been able to walk in. You know, so, but.
Well, this last one, the guy walked into a back door,
right.
That was unlocked.
Yeah.
Should have been locked.
Yeah.
But I've gone to a lot of schools where they don't lock their doors.
Yeah.
Because I was driving for a company that drives kids around, and sometimes I would have to go into the schools and they don't lock the doors. There's nobody there to even greet me sometimes.
Wow. Yeah, both my kids are elementary did, and their junior high and their high school do. So, but yeah, and it's probably just not implemented in every school, but it'd be good if
Which
it
is
did.
crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know, I like my solution, man.
Yeah.
Metal detectors, armed guards, even one. Start with one per school, man.
Yeah.
One per school.
And that probably would deter a lot of people because, you know, if you're walking in a hallway, you gotta get past the armed guard, or if he's down a different hallway and you start in this hallway, you know he's coming at some point.
And let's discriminate the hell out of them too. Let the armed guards discriminate a little bit. Let them. Hey, you kind of look like a mass shooter. I need to talk to you. Get over here.
You
Let
look
him.
like a mass shooter.
Let him.
Yeah.
Please do, sir. Go ahead. I'm serious.
Yeah.
Let him do that because hey, he could be right. Oh, he's wrong. Okay, that's cool. We forgive you, dude. But hey, one of these times you might be right, and we're all gonna love you for it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, they do it at the airport. I mean,
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah.
No, I hear you, man. Yeah, I think it's, but I think it's important to, for one, choose your battles as parents. Know the age group and the age that your kid is at.
Mm-hmm.
Some parents, you know, they're
more lenient than others.
and some are very strict.
Too strict.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they don't allow their 17 or 18-year-old to watch, you know, like a rated movie or a PG-13 movie. And you're like, holy cow, okay, this kid's getting to be a lot older now. Or what about cell phones? That's what I was going to ask you about.
That's a tough one.
When do kids get cell phones?
That's hard. That's hard because I feel like it has a lot to do with your home situation. A lot to do with how mature you feel your children are. Because some are more than others, even at the same age, right? Like my son has been asking for a phone since he was like 6.
Yeah.
You know, now it's starting to get a little more serious because a lot of his friends have one now. And
Did you know that Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos did not let their kids have cell phones while they're in school? What does that tell you? They know how they manipulate people. They know how they can kind of control you a little bit, how they can distract you, and they know all the stuff behind them. So if two of the richest guys in the world don't let their kids have cell phones when they're in school, they know there's something about cell phones that can, I mean, they control us. Like how often do you pick up your phone and start flipping through all the different apps? Yeah. And all of a sudden you're like, shoot, man, 2 hours just went by.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, it's crazy. It's hard, especially when your kids are begging for it. My oldest one for the longest time. I said not till you're 13. So when he turned
13?
Yeah, so when he turned 13, I got him one.
Holy,
but then
that's too much, man.
Then his younger brother got one when he was like 11 or 12.
There you go.
11 or 12, something like that.
I'm thinking like 9 or 10. You know,
I just think there's so much if they learn how to download apps,
but very controlled.
Yeah,
you gotta be willing. Are you one to say you have the privacy you want and need, or you want to say no? I'm still your daddy. I'm still gonna watch everything you do and control everything you do.
At this age, they're 14 and 18. I don't really worry about what they do on their phones.
No,
I mean,
you don't care about who they talk to, what they're sending, none of that. What apps they're using.
Well, no, I do care from a point of view of I teach them right from wrong, But I
You don't
don't say, I don't say, let me see your phone and look at it.
No.
So, and that's just me.
The 18-year-old, I understand.
Yeah.
14-year-old, I don't know. I feel like it's okay every once in a while. It's like, hey, just even for just because of their safety alone.
Right.
You don't want them talking to a 40-year-old woman or man or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
and it happens
Oh,
every
it does.
day,
It
every
does.
single day.
Yeah.
You know. But I don't know. I feel like if you're able to control it by the apps of what they can download or not, or like
Right.
you can have their phones turn off at a certain time or whatever.
Right.
You know, when they're younger.
I think the thing I think about is like, let's say they learn how to download an app, but then they can just delete it.
Mhm.
So they open it while they're at school, and they start,
Yeah.
thumbing through
We gotta
Instagram or
trust
whatever.
them, yeah.
Yeah. And then,
Well, there's also apps that you can connect your phone to theirs, and it'll tell you when something is downloaded.
Oh, that's true. That's
Mhm.
true. Yeah. So there's different things. I mean, I think it's important to come up with a standard at your own home,
Yeah.
and then stick to it, and have your reasonings behind it. But yeah, you gotta be careful about what kids do. I mean, and I feel like back in the day when we were young, especially me, if we wanted to go find a naked woman, you had to go find a magazine,
Magazines.
and then you had to find someone who had those magazines because you weren't getting them.
Yeah.
Because they could only sell them at stores. They all had them in plastic and stuff like that. So nowadays, kids can go onto apps.
Were you a Playboy guy?
I don't even know who I looked at. For real. Like, I looked at different ones, but I don't know which ones they were. Right?
I mean, Playboy's the big one, right?
Yeah.
I feel like everybody was looking at Playboy.
So, but yeah, and I'm just thinking like the kids can watch stuff for free now, and don't
Even
have
freaking TikTok,
to,
dude.
yeah, and Instagram.
So much booty and
Mhm.
boobies on TikTok, man.
Yeah.
It is crazy how that's legal.
Right.
Crazy.
Yeah, and some of the stuff is really like skimpy, and you're like, wow,
Yeah.
that's like soft porn. I mean, it's,
100%.
and so I think that's like it is dangerous to just let your kids get into that because that's I mean I was talking to my wife the other night. I'm like, we were watching this movie about these kids. It's called Black Phone. Have you seen that movie yet? Oh my gosh, don't watch it with your kids. But you should watch. It's called Black Phone.
Okay.
This guy abducts kids. Well, anyway, so I was talking. I said, where does someone get to the point where it's okay to abduct a kid? Like, at what age? Who taught you that was okay? And like, where did your mentality come from? Like, was it the movies you were watching? Was it what you were reading? Was it somebody who was in your life talking to you? Were you what's the word I'm thinking of? Sexually assaulted when you were a kid by your parent? Like, I'm trying to think like, where does that mentality come from? Or do they have kids? Because I know some of these people still have kids and do some weird stuff.
Or maybe they lost their children.
Yeah. But I'm just like, man, at what point does it click in your head where you say, oh, this is okay. I think I'll take kids and do bad stuff to them, or I'll watch kids, or I'll talk to kids online. Like, where does that even come from that that's okay? That you're going to take someone's innocence from them. And I'm sorry if it happened to you. You have no right to do that to somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Especially multiple kids. It's like, so we were just watching that, but yeah, I think it is important to keep an eye on your kids, kind of know what they're doing, and stuff. So I think if your kids are always hiding their phone from you, or not letting you see stuff, or not wanting you to, like, if you say, hey,
Like you can't even look over their sholler.
or if you say, hey, give me your phone for a second, I'm gonna look something up in real quick, and they're afraid
Yeah.
of like what someone might text back while you're looking through it or whatever,
Yeah.
and you're like, dude, I'm not trying to, but
But then you want to. 'Cause
Yeah.
Then it's like, whoa, why are you being weird about it?
right,
Yeah, I get it.
yeah. Where are we at, man?
We're at the point where you give us a dad joke and
dad
you
joke.
try to make me laugh, but you
Dude, this
usually don't.
No, this one's gonna be good. Two hunters are out in the woods when one of them collapses. He's not breathing and his eyes are glazed. The other guy whips out his cell phone and calls 911. I think my friend is dead, he yells. What can I do? The operator says, calm down. First, let's make sure he's dead. There's silence. Then a shot. Back on the phone, the guy says, okay, now he's dead. After he says, okay, now what? You think that's funny? We're talking about guns, too. I thought that would be hilarious. Some of these jokes are so long Here's a short one. I don't even know what it says. I'm just going to read it right now. Ready?
Yep.
A man went into a seafood restaurant and asked for a lobster tail. The waitress smiled sweetly and said, "Once upon a time, there was this handsome lobster."
Oh, gotcha. I get it. Yeah.
Okay.
See, I think that's a double entendre. No, I don't know. Paul, let us know.
Yeah. All right, guys. You have once again watched Dear Dad. This was episode number 25. And if you liked it, then give us a comment and a thumbs up. Also, share us and subscribe to us. We appreciate you guys watching. We'll see you next time.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go.